just getting the, we heard Beth Holloway, and we were, and Shanley Painter reported that we were going to get the transcript of that interview, the confession from Joran van der Sloot, and we're just getting it now. The prosecutors have released it. So, because we're just getting it now, we're just going to read it, rather than take the time to put it into a document. So it starts with Joran van der Sloot saying, plus, this is a partial transcript. She asked to go back to her hotel, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from her hotel so we could, walk back to her hotel and might still get a chance to be with her. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, says the interviewer. So what happens? Van der Sloot, yeah, and Deepak drops me off at another place and a little right of the Marriott Hotel known as the Fisherman's Huts. This is a place not so far from, the next hotel is the Marriott, the next hotel after that, another one is another Marriott, which is timeshare, and then the Holiday Inn, and we walk along the beach. All right, they get out, come on now, what happens? Well, they leave, talking about his two friends, Deepak and Satish. They leave until they go back to the room. I assume they go back to the room. And then they get to their car and they leave. And actually, I'm with her, with Natalee, walking along the beach, and I find a space to get to before we get to the Marriott, where I lay her down. We lay down together in the sand, and we start kissing each other. I start to get her to kiss me again, and we start kissing each other, and I start feeling her up, and she tells me no. She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist. I keep feeling her up either way, and she knees me. She ends up kneeing me in the crotch. When she knees me in the crotch, I get up on the beach and I kick her extremely hard in the face. Yeah, she's laying there, unconscious, possibly even dead, but definitely unconscious. And I see her right next to, there's a huge cinder block laying on the beach. You say cinder block, says the interviewer. I'm looking at the walls like these. He points to the walls. Exactly the same, says Van der Sloot. I see a huge cinder block laying on the beach, and I take this and I smash her head with it completely. Yes, smash her face, basically, until it collapses in. Even though it's dark, I can see her face is collapsed in. Afterwards, I don't exactly know. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I decide to take her and I put her into the ocean. So I grab her, pull her, walk her into the ocean, push her off. I wake up, my knees in the ocean. I push her as far as I can, or push her off into the ocean, into the sea. And yeah, then I get out and I walk home. Wow.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, we brought a copy in, so we're able to see this transcript. Obviously, Beth Holloway was able to hear that, and during her news conference after, she did comment saying that it's shocking to hear the details, but parents have to hear the truth. And then she went on to talk about her daughter, how she was bright, young, dedicated woman, and that she was headed to medical school. And no doubt, did she ever have any doubt that she would complete medical school and go on to be a successful young woman. Michael, what are your thoughts? Ted read you the transcript. What are your thoughts for that?
My heart breaks. When I got married, my wife and I took a vacation to Aruba. Beautiful country, beautiful people. They take a lot of pride in how clean their country is and how low the crime rate is, right? So just imagine these parents, they sent their daughter went to Aruba and then she didn't come back. And now we find out this animal came from another country. And he basically, one of the very few crimes committed that year in that country was committed by him against their daughter. And when Ted read the transcripts, it was chilling. But I mean, it's really sad. So how much of it I believe it, because the prosecutors and the detectives and the investigators in our country spent decades extracting that. And this guy told the truth. He made a deal. He told the truth. I would have closure. If I were her parents, I would have some semblance of closure. It's no less sad, though.
Yeah. And you could tell that Beth believes him. Like, they're afterwards talking about it, she definitely believes him. And that detail, as horrific as it is, That's what you needed, right? Because at the end of the day, if you just said, yeah, I killed her, with no detail, you're going to always think, I don't believe him, or how. This answers the questions of, were his two friends, they were always part of this equation, because he was, it was a threesome that was first with Natalee as they left. He talks about how they left. There was this version of the story that his dad helped him dispose of her body. Well, that now has been put to rest. So, Michael, that detail, as hard as it is, was, to your point, what they needed, the Holloways.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, if a person steps back and thinks about it, the girl was clearly murdered. Whether it's from him or somebody, she was clearly murdered. She went to this country, a country with very low crime, and she didn't come back, right? It makes, it makes sense that she didn't just move there and change her name and disappear, right? Everybody knows that she was murdered. Something very, very sinister happened to this girl while she was on vacation. And now this actually fills in the piece. And, if someone were asking me, it's either Vandersloot or somebody just like Vandersloot. That is the way her life ended. I mean, Aruba's a small country. It's pretty much all beach. It's a thin country. It's all beach. And so the thought that she died on a beach with a strange person who was a villain, a criminal, a monster, it makes sense. Even before they found Vandersloot, even before he was part of the lexicon, pretty much everybody knew that she reached that sort of a demise by somebody like Vandersloot. So how many of us were shocked when Vandersloot popped up last June in Alabama? Not many. We pretty much looked at him and said, that's kind of what we thought happened, right? People believed it was a foreign person in Aruba who did it before Vandersloot was found. Because again, Aruba is a country with very little crime, clean water, great people, great food, and they rave about how clean their water is and how low crime how much low crime they have. And I've been there. I took a long vacation. Those people, nobody believed that a national Arubian person did this, and this Vandersloot just confirms the hunches of many observers.
Yeah, definitely. And when you talk about Aruba, I mean, this story's been going on for nearly 20 years. And, when you talk about even just travel with your family, it's always tainted my view of Aruba, knowing that something like this happened here. And, Michael, I appreciate what you have to say about Aruba. It's a beautiful place. I have never been there. But just such a tragic thing to have happened there. And when we talk about Beth Holloway today, when she said, this is better than closure, it is over. And that is getting justice for Natalee. Again, I just am so happy for that family, for those of us who have watched this case for the last nearly 20 years. Michael, just want to get some closing thoughts from you on this.
Yeah, my heart breaks for the family, and what I say is, if it's closure for you, it's closure for me. If you, the family of Natalee Holloway, if you're satisfied, I'm satisfied. Anyone watching this is satisfied. You don't have to have a daughter who goes on vacation and doesn't come back for you to sympathize with the Holloways. Great people. They've been through a lot, 18-year journey, and it's over now. If you say that you've received closure, and if you say that this is over for you, we're all on board.